Hello and welcome to the first Alula webinar of 2021. My name is Kevin Hoffman and I'm so happy to be here with you to talk about our new Ultimate Sunset offer. Just a quick refresher for those of you who may be new to Alula, we do have a lot of people joining us. We're 100% partner focused. We are an efficient end-to-end platform. That means we provide both the hardware as well as the interactive services. We are your partner for both takeovers and sunset solutions, which is what we're here to talk about today. And partner support and enablement is our #1 priority, which I think you'll see throughout the presentation. Joining us today is Brad LaRock. He's the VP of Marketing at Alula. He's got 18+ years in the SaaS technology business with a focus on consumer and business-to-business marketing. He's a general manager for MarketForce, a global digital marketing agency. Previously, he was a CMO for a SaaS-based B2B health benefits platform. He built marketing and e-commerce strategies for leading brands like Major League Baseball, Logitech, Microsoft. And he joined Alula in August 2018, where he hired me. Brad, thanks for being here.
Kevin, it's really good to be here with you. We've had an exciting start to the year, and I'm happy to be here with everybody on the call today.
So, Brad, speaking of exciting starts to the year, just a few weeks ago, there was quite a bit of buzz in the industry on the various Facebook groups about this supposed big announcement. Why don't you talk us through this whole kind of kerfuffle?
Yeah, just like anything in social, things can get twisted pretty quickly, and there was a lot of excitement for a little burst in time there where some communication was put out on some of the media outlets, and it made everybody pause for a moment. It was really a communication built around the potential of Verizon extending the 3G sunset. And unfortunately, some of the comments got misconstrued. There was a bit of a miscommunication, and some of the comments just were taken out of context, which sent everybody into a bit of an excitement, frankly. But what's really happening here isn't anything. There's no news here. What we see and what we're encouraging everyone to realize here is Verizon is still working very hard to move that 3G network off as they make room for 5G. In fact, they were very quick to come back to some of those articles and some of those comments to make sure that was very clear. We've been talking about sunset at the end of 2022 Verizon, and that is they've confirmed that time frame. So nothing new. There was a lot of excitement in the press, and unfortunately, it just got a little bit misconstrued. I think what I was really happy to see was most pros actually were unfazed by the commentary. Other than a lot of noise that was kind of happening in the market, many of them really confirmed that we are still moving ahead at the pace, if not faster, than what we had planned to do. So that was really encouraging for me. That's certainly something that Alula's been representing is start early and stay late when it comes to this 3G cellular sunset. And just as a reminder, Verizon's December of 2022, but AT&T did actually a little bit earlier in February of 2022.
Yeah, thanks, Brad. And for those of you looking for a deeper dive on this issue, I would direct you to our Alula Pro forum page. One of our distributor partners helpfully unpacked how this miscommunication got out into the market and was able to do a little bit of firsthand reporting to get the genie back in the bottle, so to speak, and get everybody back on track. So that was an example of a big announcement that turned out not to be true. But we're making a big announcement here today, and that's our Ultimate Sunset offer. Brad, take us through the high points.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. I hope that you've all had the chance to take a look at some of the communication that's been in market. Our partners have been very receptive to this and been communicating it through their channels. But here's what we're talking about. It's the Ultimate Sunset offer. What we're doing is we're bringing $99 for free interactive service credits with each activation on a sunsetting device. That means that you're not going to be paying any service bills for up to 18 months. That will afford a number of different merchandising opportunities for you to work with your consumers as you move through sunset. But really, we want to get this device in your hands and do that as easily as possible, and that's really what we've designed here. I think you'll see as you work with your distributors that this type of service credit ultimately, as has the communicator paying for itself, is virtually free for you. And that's what we get really excited about, because we've got new ways to bring you better value, including some of the technology that's embedded in the Back Connect communicator. We'll talk about this a little bit further, but we've made this a little bit more sunset-proof than most of the communicators out in the market today. And when you pair that with some of the new features and some of the capabilities that this Back Connect can do, I think you'll find that this ultimately is your best way to work through the sunset with your existing customers today. So Back Connect really focused on bringing a modern touch to a legacy solution in the market today.
So Brad, as we look to create this ultimate sunset offer over the past several months, leading to this pivotal year, obviously we looked at what else was in the market, and we want to give our Alula Pros something better. So we're not going to name the competition. Let's just say we're comparing it to another offer that's in market. Brad, why don't you show how we were able to beat that offer?
Yeah, thanks. We were trying to focus on two things. How do we deliver value right out of the gate? And how do we deliver value over time? And when you pair some of the merchandising that we've done here, when you pair what the offer that we've put together here, plus what the services can do over time, we think that we've got a really solid solution. We've stood that up against some of the things that are most common in the market, our competitor in the market that we think has had a lot of attention on this, but we've done that so in a very meaningful way. So when you take a look at the price point that you'll likely pay for Back Connect out of the gate, you'll find that we're extremely attractive compared to some of the things in market. When you think about the full interactive app, you'll find that the services are incredibly valuable, and you'll find that the price points that we're bringing these to market at are very attractive as well. And one of the things that I think we're very proud about, we've got a deep engineering background, and we are very comfortable with the products that we're putting in market for you today. In fact, this 5-year warranty that we bring out on our products is the best in the industry, hands down. When you compare them to this competitor, you'll see it's a 3-year warranty, but in other cases you'll find 1 year and 2 year. But we are 5-year, and we feel like that is we feel very comfortable with that based off how we've built our products and how we engineer those products. Ultimately, we're here to help you fix the sunset. And you've got a number of ways to do that, whether you are changing out the radios now or extending the value not only for your business but also for your consumer through the platform itself. So think about adding video or adding automation. Ultimately, you've got the ability to provide a lot of value to your consumer in the long run, and you've got some immediate value to take advantage of right now with the offer that we're putting in the market.
And if you look at that last line, 5G ready, how that stacks up, I want to double click on that and talk about what that means to be 5G ready. Why is that such an important value for us there, Brad?
Yeah, it's an important value because most pros have been dealing with these sunsets for a number of years. And these sunsets simply force you to do another sunset down the line. What we have here in the technology in Back Connect is the ability to extend those sunsets. So you don't have to, you'll solve 4G now, but you don't have to go visit these consumers with another truck roll when 4G is gone. You've got the ability to transition right into 5G with the technology that's built into Back Connect. So choosing anything else other than Back Connect is simply choosing to go put another truck roll in the market to fix this problem. That's such a really powerful way to solve this sunset, and it's frankly a solution that's never been available to these pros before. So that's why we get really excited about it. So you pair that with the offer that we've put into space, plus the fact that they can carry this forward through 4G, you've got quite an extension of a solution here that's never been available before. And when you pair that with the offer, like I said, there isn't another service provider in market that's able to deliver this type of offer that we're bringing to you today.
So Brad, I leaked this a little bit early to our Alula Pro Forum Facebook group. I like to give those guys an early peek at what we're working on. We also shared this with some of our trusted partners, and so far the initial feedback has been just overwhelmingly positive. So tell me a little bit about what you're hearing back from our partners.
Yeah, it's actually been really fun to be in contact with them on this offer. In fact, Kevin, to your point, some of the communication that we get back from the pros on our Facebook channel or through our distribution partners really help us shape what we're bringing to market. It's incredibly important to us to stay connected with the pros. We think they provide the best solution in the market when it comes to security for consumers, and their feedback is critical for us. And it was really fun, actually. So I've been hearing a lot of these comments, but this was one that came through our sales team, and it was one that really caught my ear when I was thinking about it. They called me and they said, "Hey, Brad, listen, ASI," they said, "between Bat Connect and this program, this is the slickest stuff I've seen in all my years in the industry." Now, the word was different than stuff, but they were really excited about it. Frankly, we get really excited about that kind of feedback too. It makes us feel like we're moving in the right direction on these types of solutions. So it was really great to hear that from the market. This was just last week. So lots of great feedback's been coming in on the forum. Lots of really fantastic conversations with our existing partners, and maybe more importantly, a lot of new partners. And that just really goes to the value that we hope people are finding with this offer and ultimately with Bat Connect.
Yeah, exactly. And Randall gets right to the point there, and he's exactly right. When you talk about that new Ultimate Sunset program, you link that to what we've already got with the Bat Connect, and now you've got an amazing sunset solution. And so, Brad, let's look at the Bat Connect. I mean, you can take over all of these different panels using one communicator.
Yeah, these are really important call-outs on the bottom here. They're obviously major participants in our industry today. And what we have here with Bat Connect is a single platform that can cover all of these panels in market today. Frankly, there isn't another communicator that can cover it the way we do. Whether you're considering the connectivity that simple tip and ring can offer you to the full bus control and what that brings you, Bat Connect is the best in the industry at this. When I talk about full bus control, that's really what I'm talking about with the brands below. DSC, Networks, Honeywell, all major brands that have that full bus control, which delivers that full interactive experience to these legacy panels. Critically important. NAPCO was one that we most recently brought to market, and that was just maybe a month or so ago. So I'm really excited about that. That's an area that you can bring new experiences to old legacy devices in a way to help you move into sunset, not only if you're just swapping radios, but also extend the offer that you're bringing to your consumers by virtue of that full bus control. Really strong element to the program. We obviously stepped into the year with some awards that we were getting recognized for, and we're really happy with how this has been progressing.
Yeah, and as you look at this infographic, it's probably going to have to be revised pretty soon because you can add another major brand to that list.
Very sly, Kevin, very sly. Yeah, in fact, Bat Connect keeps getting better. It is, we've heard from our partners that Concord is an important add, and we are happy to report that this is nearing launch. So we have got Bat Connect ready for full interactive takeover on Concord, something that we think is a pretty important next step in the evolution of Bat Connect. Not only does it sort of help you update some of these models that are in market today. It's a very popular model, but you can obviously modernize it too with touchpad. You can bring video in and ultimately automation services either at the get-go or sell that in when your customers are ready to take advantage of that.
And of course, that $99 service offer is also going to apply to Concord. So everything we've talked about in this presentation is also going to be available if you're looking to change out those Concord panels. So that's just going to be a couple months. And, I talked earlier how we kind of presented this offer to some of our members of our Facebook group and some of our trusted partners. And, of course, one of the first questions they asked, and I'm sure some of you guys are asking it too, is, well, wait a minute, can this apply to the Connect Plus? Is this going to apply to the Connect XT? So, Brad, what happened next?
Yeah, absolutely. The short answer is yes, it's going to apply there. Well, Back Connect in and of itself is quite a piece of hardware matched with services. But when you take a look at some of the other devices that are out there, Connect Plus ends up being one that many of our pros are choosing to take over some of these sunsetting self-contained panels, whether it's some of the original IQs or some of the things from Interlogix. Connect Plus ends up being a really nice way to go. And Connect XT for some of those old Simons really is a nice way to go too. So we're making sure to include both those platforms in the offer as well, and we hope that also it helps extend how you're approaching that conversion, those radio conversions. We want to make sure you've got the right solution for how you want to solve that problem. So between Connect XT, Connect Plus, and ultimately Back Connect, we feel like those all have a spot in this sunset program for us.
Yeah, so I wasn't kidding when I said it was the ultimate sunset offer. I mean, it's across every possible panel that you could potentially face. We've got you taken care of. So how can you make yourself eligible for this, Brad? It's a pretty easy sign-up process, right?
Yeah, that was one of the things that we spent some time on. We had an older program in the space, and we took some of that feedback that we get from our pros about how that was working, and we tried to make that very simple, all the way through starting with the sign-up. So if you're a brand new partner to us, you'll find us out at alula.com/sunset. You'll find 2 links out there. If you're a brand new partner, we've got a special link for you right at the bottom. It says Getting Started Here. That'll put you right into our normal sign-up process. And ultimately, you will get some incremental credentials that you can turn around and go use to register for the sign-up program. If you're an existing pro, we've made it even easier for you there. So all you need to do is take those Alula Connect credentials. Head on out to Alula Connect. You'll see the information right there on the home screen that you have to click through, and ultimately you'll complete your sign-up there. We'll let you know when you're ready to go as far as the rebate process is concerned. But really, we're making it incredibly easy. You are purchasing the communicator. You're activating that device. That's such an important part in Alula Connect. And then that credit automatically starts coming in month over month over month. And we've tried to make that very simple. So if you're a new pro partner, we've got a very simple process for you. And if you're an existing pro, we've got a system for you as well.
And if you are already part of the pro program, you're aware that we have all kinds of wonderful materials available to you, service providers that you can work with. Brad, talk about the partner program and how that can also help someone meet the challenges of the sunset.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry if there's a little background noise on my part. The dog, she's having some fun. The partner program. Was one of the areas that we really invested a lot in last year, and we continue to do that. One of the things that we're doing here is keeping our next iteration really focused on sunset. So as you are experiencing the platform and learning about the platform, we're trying to make that really easy for you. So in the coming weeks, and we will have our own webinar associated for this, you'll see a learning management system that's coming on board, and that's to make it really easy, whether you want a refresher on what Alula looks like, or you've got a new set of text that you want to train up quickly. Our LMS system is something that we think you'll find a lot of benefit in. Beyond that, we've got new sunset-focused campaign materials that you'll find out there as a way to communicate with your end user. Consumer financing options are great as you move through sunset as well. So we've got some new options for you out there. And ultimately, the more devices that you're activating with us, the more points you earn, that you can redeem those points on some of your own marketing programs. It's a really nice benefit that we brought out midpoint this year, and I think you'll be able to take advantage of that. But one of the really cool things is a new partnership with a company called Podium that'll help you kind of move through the review process with your end users. As you are done switching out the radios, collect those reviews, and then ultimately post those reviews to help you capture those ratings online that you're looking for. We think there's a lot of new features in the Pro program that will help you not only move forward in your base business, but also really get focused on sunset. And if you aren't part of the Pro community today with us, you can find that out at lula.com/Pro program. And you can find a bunch of information out there, or if you've got some questions, we'd love to help you out here too. So we hope that you find this next set of materials very helpful to you as you move through to sunset.
Thanks, Brad. And before we get to the Q&A portion of the event, when I was advertising, I promised I would show a little sneak peek. It's something that I was working with over the holidays and I thought was really cool. So here it is. It is the new LED Keypad from Lula. Brad, why don't you talk about this new product we'll be coming out with soon?
Yeah, it's a great little device. It displays real-time status, meaning it's got two-way communication. It's got some really easy-to-use functionality. You'll find actually that a lot of the buttons on the device match that of the app. We think that's critically important to keep those interfaces the same. A really nice feedback on the LED side. You'll see that bright bar at the top, and the buttons actually illuminate in that regard. But we think that it's a very simple keypad that can be easily understood and used, and really, depending on how you want to deploy this in your solutions, gives you a really nice option, like by the back door or potentially at a service entrance. We think there's some really nice features to it, but it can sit on a wall, it can sit on a desk. Ultimately, it's a very affordable interface to a Lula Interactive that's got that two-way connectivity, and we think it's really going to be an interesting element to the offering as you get deeper into not only your sunset but also your base business.
Exactly. As you're looking to scale up this year, that's what has me so excited about LED Keypad. Is it really enables our partners to go in with a good, better, best model. So Brad, why don't you walk us through that kind of sales technique?
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. This is a really important one. It's an important one to pause on. When you think about the partners you choose, and you think about the platforms that you offer, what we're doing with our platform is really making it extensible depending on how you want to approach your market. LED Keypad really, really emphasizes that point. That singular platform allows you to build a good, better, best approach depending on how your consumers ultimately are buying from you. A simple approach with the award-winning app and the Connect Plus story is a great one. It really is. But in some cases, some users are more comfortable with a bit of a push-button approach, less of more of a modern app experience. You of course can offer that in the better instance and along with the keypad, but it gives you a different approach for this market, and we think there's a place for that. Ultimately, we've been getting a lot of feedback on Slimline Touchpad, and we've got a lot of things in store for Slimline Touchpad, so stay tuned there. But that really is a premier interface to a Lula Interactive. But when you think about these things in total, they're very consumer-centric, and that allows you to keep your approach to your customer very consumer-centric. And in a market like we have today that literally seems to be defined, this allows you to choose the offering that you're going to put into market. It allows you to upsell or downsell depending on where you're at with your consumer, and lets you differentiate your offering in ways that frankly a lot of other platforms can't. So we get really excited about what LED Keypad is going to do as part of the total offering. We hope you find that as well. It's another nice piece from our core engineering team. We're really excited about it, and we hope that you'll be excited when you get your hands on that as well.
Well said, Brad, and thank you so much for being here. Brad, I know you put in a lot of late nights on this sunset program. working with our E-team and our accountants to make sure we can get the best deal for our partners. So I'm sure they're thankful as well. Are you able to stick around and answer any questions they may have?
Absolutely. Let's get to it.
Perfect. All right, thanks everybody for being here. A lot of excitement around this program and a lot of great questions to get to. Brad, are you hearing me?
Yep, I got you loud and clear, Kevin.
All right, so we're going to focus on these sunset questions first, and I'll make sure to get to those product and panel compatibility questions on the back end with Dave Main, who's standing by. But first, I want to have a chance to really explain it. They're asking some great questions. Lisa Naylor asks, what happens when a customer cancels before the end of the commitment period? Does the dealer owe Alula?
Yeah, great question, Lisa. Thank you for that. The program is actually, so a couple of points. The program is actually tied to the device, not the customer. So we want to make sure that that's very clear here. So if that device is something that you can carry forward, that's how we've built this program, is that it's matched to the device. There is a period of time, the 18 months free, where if there is a cancel in there, we're going to ask for a couple of things. If there's a cancel during that free period, we're just going to ask that you remit the period or the fees for the month that have passed. If there happens to be a cancellation in a paid period, we would just ask that you would pay for the period that hasn't already been covered. So there is a situation here where there may be a cancel from the customer. We've tried to make that very simple for you in this situation, but remember, first and foremost, that plan is tied to the device. I hope that answers the question, Lisa. Thank you for that one.
Well, the questions are still coming in, so if we didn't get it there, we will get it as we keep asking. Lisa had a follow-up question that I also want to clarify. Will this be limited only to 5G service? Other dialers are LTE compatible. So does the sunset operate? It covers 4G service, right?
100% correct, Kevin. Yeah, great question, Lisa. That's one of the things that we think is so unique about what Bat Connect is bringing to the table, is it handles LTE right now. And ultimately, when 4G starts to sunset for whatever reason, 4G is going to be sunsetting. The M1, the technology that's built into the Bat Connect will be able to handle the 5G spectrum as well. So you're essentially getting 2 for 1 here on the sunset. That's something obviously very new. Most of these sunsets is once you've switched it out, you're sort of set yourself up for the next one, but this is different here. You're going to have the ability to carry this forward across multiple sunsets. And we think that's a pretty important piece of technology that's been incorporated, and frankly, choosing anything but Bat Connect and the M1 capabilities means you're going to end up having to do another sunset when 4G is done. So we're excited about that one. We hope we're getting a lot of feedback from the market on the importance of that, and we hope you can take advantage of that.
All right, now we got a twofer from Larry Petruzzi. First question, how long is the 18 months? Is it from the time of activation forward?
Yeah, absolutely, Larry. As soon as it's activated, we'll get that clock running for you.
And then how long, does it have to be activated within a certain time frame after purchase? If someone buys the Bat Connect and let's say 3 months, 4 months later decides to install it, do they still get that 18 months?
Yeah, good follow-on. We've seen that most of the activations happen fairly quickly after purchase, so we would expect that to be the case. But we are starting the program specifically when that device is activated, so no framework around that. So that activation date is the begin date.
And next is it's not a question, but it's a great comment from Alyssa. She says, we have switched to only installing Alula radios. Far less issues. We have been very happy. So thank you, Alyssa. Really appreciate that feedback. Next question comes to us from Larry Petruzzi. He says, are the vendors aware of your warranty? We have had issues with units that have had problems, and how do you make sure to get your money back in those situations?
I think I understand the question. I think you may be asking about our distribution partners. We bring that 5-year warranty through them, obviously, and if they are not aware, we can absolutely make that very clear to them in any of those situations. It's one of the things that we love to stand behind our products, and I appreciate the question. It's a nice separator for us, and we hope that you find it the same way. So. We hope that our partners are very clearly aware of that 5-year warranty, but if they're not, we will make sure that is abundantly clear should we run into any of those issues.
Yeah, and if you do have any issues, just please call your Alula account representative. They will make sure that that's taken care of for you. Next, Lynn Ramirez. Thank you so much, Lynn, for asking this question. Definitely something I should have mentioned in the presentation. She asks, is this $99 credit for current Alula customers that have CDMA or LTE and get upgraded to Back Connect? So would you qualify for replacing an Alula radio?
Great question, Lynn, and the answer is yes. We want that credit. We want to make this as easy for our existing partners as any new partners that might be coming our way as well. And it definitely will work for any existing Alula radios that you may have today. We like to keep that offer the same, keep it simple, and make sure it's very clear to everybody. So great question, Lynn. Thank you.
And just a point of just to let you all know, I'm not going to be skipping your questions, Thomas, John, all of the product questions, Richard. I'm going to get to those as soon as we get through the sunset stuff, so those will all be asked and answered. The question, Lynn also wanted a point of clarification. We receive a monthly credit for the new monthly service, or it just won't get billed for the 18 months? How's that the mechanics of that work, Brad?
Yeah, as soon as it's activated, we will cease the billing, that specific monthly billing for those devices. So that's how that'll work. So you would not be receiving any kind of invoice for that specific device. That'll come through at $0.
Excellent. And here's a good question from Richard Lang. What is the anticipated 4G LTE sunset, Brad?
A great question, Richard. We've got some good clarity on 3G. The 4G, I don't know that we've got that kind of clarity on yet, and I guess that makes it all the more important when we were looking at that to design something that was sort of independent of those dates that sometimes can be a little unclear. So hence the investment from our side on M1 and the ability to sort of move through those sunsets independent of those dates, because historically those things have been a little bit gray, and when you're nearing those actual go dark dates, things can get a little sketchy, and we just want to see if we could avoid that as best we can. So I don't have a clear date on that 4G sunset, but certainly we're trying to smooth things out for our pros and help them move along the sunsets independent of those dates.
Yeah, I mean, the short answer is, Richard, nobody knows. But with Alula, you don't have to worry about it. And we're the only security company that can say that. So that's one of the major reasons that we are bringing forth the Back Connect and this sunset offer, is to get you guys out of having to worry about that stuff. Just a few more sunset questions, and then I'm going to bring Dave in. So Lynn is also asking, will the users and devices, so this is an invoice question, will the users and devices still be listed on the invoice but showing $0 for those 18 months?
Lynn, good question. I believe it's going to say $0, but if you'll afford me the opportunity, I'd like to clarify that one with our billing team and just make sure that's true, and we'll come back to you straight away with that answer. But I believe it's going to be coming through at $0.
Hey, Brad, just
I
real
think I just
quick.
have one.
It will come through at
just
$0.
in.
I'll confirm it for you. It does show up, and it's at $0.
Very good. Thank you, Dave.
So There's Dave making an appearance. Dave will be back in just 5 minutes, so he's going to be also answering your LED keypad questions. But I did have one last question here, Brad, on the sunset from Sam Provenza. Question: I currently pay for my Alula services direct to the central station. How do I do the sunset program?
Awesome question, Sam. We because of that consolidated billing and the arrangement with the central stations, we will actually have you continue to work through your central stations. Here's what Alula will do. We're going to take that same mechanism where we control the pricing for those devices, and we will in turn point that at the central station. So as you put on a device in the sunsetting scenario, we will in turn turn that off for the central station, so such that their billing can recognize that type of arrangement as well. Because we don't know what your final arrangement looks like with the central station, we will have to have you work with the central station on what that credit's going to look like. But ultimately, we envision this working between the three of us, and what we would like to do, Sam, is get connected with specifically your central station and make sure they understand how that would work. But we do see it operating in a very similar fashion. So the next step here, Sam, would be to get connected with the central station and then have a call with our Alula sales rep as well, and we'll move forward with that with you.
And Brad, I just had one more question because it's such a good one from Alyssa, and I want everyone to be able to hear it. She asked, do the radios have to be purchased by a certain date? Will this apply to radios we currently have in-house waiting to be used?
This is for radios. This is radios from January 1 forward. So it won't work on any historical purchases. So I hope that clears up that question. We had to start the clock at the start of the year. I hope that makes sense for everybody, but that's how we're managing this.
Excellent, Brad. Now, if you wouldn't mind just standing by, I want to bring Dave in. We've got a few technical questions around Bat Connect and some of the compatibility, and I think he'd probably be better situated to answer if you wouldn't mind hanging on for just a sec.
More
Dave,
than happy.
with me?
Thank you for the questions.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, Dave. So there's a bunch of different product questions. First one comes from Lisa. She's just asking, will there be any upgrades to the app, that Alula app on the horizon?
Yeah, we upgrade and add new features all the time to our app, to our platform, and even to our communicator devices. And part of the benefits you get when you're an Alula partner is these upgrades come down and are made available to all, not only new installations, but existing installations. So you're going to see continued improvement. You probably, if you've been a partner of ours for a while, over the past 18 months or so, I hope you've recognized the investments we've made in bringing video to the touchpad, adding improvements in automation devices and devices we can control. All of these are going to be brought forward, and you're going to see that continue as we get into 2021 and beyond.
Thanks, Dave. And I just want to give you a quick piece of feedback from our friend in Australia, Don Tamilio. Says, the Bat Connect is fantastic, working great in Australia. Honeywell dealers love it. Thanks, Don.
Yeah, thanks, Annette.
Now
I look forward to chatting with you soon.
Excellent. We've got a bunch of questions about compatibility. Any chance we'll be connecting to Bosch panels in the near future?
Well, one thing, Bat Connect works on almost any panel that's in the market because we have the ability to bus connect for full interactive on most industry panels. And then we have tip and ring connection for any of those that support contact ID. And with that, we can do not only alarm signaling, but we can do key switch arming and control that way on those devices. So we have pretty broad range of support. Bosch panels, we do, really any panel, we want to have conversations with the companies and get cooperation to add to our list of supplied panels. Nothing in the works on Bosch short of tip and ring connections, and I believe some of their panels, the newer ones, support contact ID. I'll have to verify that. To the extent they do, we support them today.
Speaking of Bosch, we actually have a question from Heather Bosch Wages, who's a member of our Facebook group. She's asking about NAPCO 3200. Do you see us being able to take over that with the back connect soon?
Yeah, Heather, that question comes up. We added NAPCO support, more the kind of the newer gem lines recently. That was, I don't know, probably 3-4 months ago. We added that into the BAT Connect. The 3200 and the 9600 both come up in conversations. And the oldest ones back in the 90s didn't support contact ID. I don't know if that changed over time. We will take a look at that and see what we can do about support over time. But at this point in time, nothing in the works short of, again, just contact ID reporting models. And I know, again, the early ones didn't, but I think they added that into the 3200, and I'll circle back with you and message to confirm that.
John Planer says, yes, I am a Concord dealer. He's asking if BAT Connect will also interface with the Concord Express.
Concord Express. I was actually involved when that first came into market. When we join on the bus of the Concord panels, we join as a couple of different devices. One of them is a home automation device and one is a keypad. And the original Concord Express did not support the home automation device. So again, we'd have support of that panel with key switch and with alarm signaling. We wouldn't have full interactive control unless that got changed somewhere in later years. I think it all kind of rolled into Concord 4. I'll circle back with you and verify. But alarm signaling and key switch for sure, and then the rest of the Concord family, we'd get full support.
Okay, and then speaking of full support, Thomas Williams asked, what about DSC Neo? Do you see us getting full interactive on that?
I would love to. I have conversations with the group over at DSC all the time, and that bus happens to be encrypted for devices on there, so we'd need to work and get support from DSC. I encourage anybody who's a DSC dealer that wants to see that happen, call your salesperson or call whoever you know over at DSC and say, hey, let's work with Alula. And they are open to having conversations. Nothing in the works just yet, but if you could help move that along, I'd be happy to bring that into the fold for sure.
And one last question on compatibility before we switch gears over to that LED keypad. But Gene Rosenberg asks, what about the Vista 128 DPT version 1.22? Do you have a sense of what he's getting at there?
Well, so Kevin, we support a lot of different variations of panels, and the Vista line from Honeywell, Resideo, has a lot of flavors from Vista 10s, 15s, 20s, all the way to the 128. We do support the 128. There's some documentation in our manual. There's specific program settings that you need to do on certain models, and I'm not sure on the 1.22 version, but we need to capture, we have to have telco event capture covered and programmed into that panel. So there's certain settings we need to do, and inside our manual, we cover all of those settings. So if you're trying to install on a 128, make sure you look very closely at the beginning part right underneath the Honeywell compatibility section, and it'll say what parameters need to be programmed. And if that's not working for you or you have trouble, feel free to call into tech support. We keep many of these panels floating around here so that we don't leave your technicians hanging. We can actually see and experience exactly what they're going through. But we should have support for that if it's programmed properly.
Okay, and of course at the end of the presentation, we gave a first look for the LED keypad. And of course people have a ton of great questions about it. So let's start with the battery. Richard Lang asks, what battery powers this device?
So the device has, they're basically alkaline AA batteries, 4 of them, and you can get 1-year battery life. It also has a terminal block and can be powered on the wall. And the behavior on, the LED status feedback exists in both cases. It's more persistent if it's powered, but we can operate for 1 year on battery power on that device. And I don't know if that was mentioned in the presentation, but that's a key feature of this for ease of installation.
Yes. Next question, Alyssa says, I just had a client ask for something like this, the LED keypad. When is it going to be available?
We're looking to bring that out, I'm going to say probably right at the beginning part of Q2. We're going through the process of getting units built up. I always hope to beat the dates, but I'll say the beginning part of Q2 is when you'll see that hit the streets. And I tell you what, the feedback on this device, you can see the status, the little status LED across the top from all angles. And it has little, I call them tracer effects, where it gives you countdowns on entry, exit, and alarm conditions. So it's easy to see from across the room, and it actually gives you visuals during your exit delay periods. And then note that that keypad also carries our same interactive experience. The arming buttons and everything is very similar to what we see in our app and on our touchpads. We try to carry that consistent user experience through all of our devices, just to simplify, I guess, training for your customers and reduce support costs. Try to keep your total cost of service low.
And I think you referred to this before, Dave. Both Heather and Jay Shore are asking, is the new keypad wireless?
It is wireless, with the exception of if you want to power it, you can power it. And again, we have a terminal block on there, so if you're replacing an existing system, you can just take two of the wires that exist in the wall, put it right into our terminal block, put a power supply on the other side, and you'll be up and running. Easy installation, and both table and wall mount are available on that in the package. They come with it.
Jay Shore also asks, does the new keypad install in a single gang box?
Yes, and we've had feedback on our touchpad and other devices. Everybody, whenever we come out with a new product, what do you do to cover up old holes and paint marks on the wall, and we have options for that on our touchpad. You're getting into new construction or even a lot of retrofits, we do mount right to a single gang box, so it's easy to install that way. And it snaps right on in a nice clean installation with a slight angle to it, so it's easy for viewing if the box tends to be a little bit lower than most people's height.
Norton asks, can the LED keypad, can it be utilized for commercial environments?
Yeah, we have, Connect Plus is often installed in small commercial. It has UL compliance certification for, residential Berg fire and then commercial Berg. And we will carry this device into that mix as well. And it's actually a great commercial application. Put it back by an entry door in the back of a small business, and you have a perfect two-way feedback device. So definitely.
And as we wrap up here, John Ellis just is looking for any updates on support for Alexa Google.
Yeah, John. So we have support today for Alexa and Google Home for arming and disarming. You're probably asking about extended support for Z-Wave devices that are added in. We don't have that as of today, but we are looking to push that forward here very soon in the first half of 2021. I don't have exact dates on that, but I will come back and circle back with you as we get closer to having that available.
Thank you, Dave, and thank all of you for attending. There's 71 of you still on the line, so I really appreciate your passionate support of Alula as we move forward into 2021. We've got a great slate of future webinars, so please be sure to sign up for them, join us on our Facebook group, and continue to support Alula, and we will continue to support you. See you next time on the Alula webinar.